Hello, this is Jose. Here I am today with this K24 engine. It's a Honda engine. It's a very, very popular engine, almost as popular as the K20 engine. These two engines are capable of doing a lot of power, 650 to 1,000 horsepower. Of course, doing some modifications, but they are very, very good engines, and like I said, very popular. So this one blew out. This one came out of my daughter's CRV. If you saw that video where I did the maintenance of that CRV with my daughter, you saw how we worked on this engine. We did all the maintenance. So we did spark plugs, we changed the oil, we did a lot of stuff to that car. So if you didn't see that video, you can go back and see. It's a very good video. My daughter did all the maintenance. I told her what to do, but she did it all herself. It's very, very easy, very simple to do. Now, we're going to be taking this apart to see what happened to it. This engine overheated. She had a problem with antifreeze. It was leaking. She didn't take care of it on time. Unfortunately, the engine couldn't take it. She was jump starting the car every time the car stopped, and the car stopped because it was overheating. It was low on coolant. So the car gives you warnings when these things are about to happen. Unfortunately, she didn't see those signs, and the engine fell. And so when this happens, a lot of these engines they bend, they crack. So we'll see what happened to this one. Hopefully, something visible, something that we could tell what happened, or I don't know if it's just bended and we don't know. But well, we'll try to see if it bent. We can probably see with something straight to see if in fact was bent or what's going on. So let's take this apart and we'll see what happens. As I said, this is a very popular engine. It came out of it's a Honda engine, so it comes on CRVs, it comes on Civics, it comes on um, Accords, and then Acura is a lot of Acura. So it's a very, very good engine. They don't build them like this anymore. These engines are bulletproof. They're really, really good engines. So if you can use one of those engines, the K20 or K24, you'll get a lot of power out of those engines. And it's only a four-cylinder. It's a four-cylinder engine. It's very capable, very good engine. So the first thing we're gonna do before we put it on the stand is we're gonna take the bolt out of the crank pulley. Okay, and the reason I don't have it on the stand yet is because I want to take that bolt out while it's on the floor. I just think it's a little easier. We're gonna have to use two breaker bars and one to hold the pulley with a special tool also, and one to take the bolt out. So sometimes it comes out with a gun, but a lot of times it doesn't. So that's why you have to use the breaker bar, and sometimes you even have to use extension, use the pipe. In my case, I'm going to use the handle for my hand jack. So, but I'll show you all of these. But that's the first thing we're going to do, and then we're going to put it on the stand. So as I mentioned, we're going to have to use breaker bars. We need some guns to then take other stuff apart, but the breaker bars are mostly for that big bolt that's in the front holding the crank pulley, but we also need them for other parts, is to maybe take the head out, but we'll see. We need some wrenches. I don't know sizes yet, but we will use different ones. Wrenches. We need the bolts to hold the engine on the stand. Then we need some washers to use them as spacers, because we don't know what size bolt we have to use yet, and you have to make sure you use the right bolts. They can't be too big, they can't be too small. So we have two different sizes and different bolts. This is the special tool we need to hold the crank. This is a Honda special tool. Well, it's not Honda, but this is for Hondas. And of course you need some penetrating oil, some brake cleaner just to get some of the grease out so it doesn't get too messy. This is the extension I was talking about. A little cheater bar so we can make a little more force. This is out of my jack. So let's see. So here we are. We're ready to take this bolt out. Here's the special tool. All right, and a breaker bar. This goes right around the bolt, and then this sucker will go right around it to take the bolt out. Okay, so we're gonna go in there like that. We're gonna use the bottom as leverage, so we'll put I'm gonna put this right against the floor, and this will hold the tool. Now we put the socket in on the bolt. Let's see, hopefully we can get it out without using the extension. All right, we do need a little more force. We're gonna get the extension. All right, let's break these loose. This is not going anywhere, so we're gonna try some penetrating oil. Hopefully this does the trick. Let's see. Okay, that was it. We just need some penetrating oil and some extra force over here with my foot. That did it. Okay, now we can put it on the stand. And we have 90 and we have 100 millimeter bolts. Okay, they're M12s and they're 125. The thread's 125. Okay, so we'll see how they go on the stand. Probably easier to get the stand piece to put it here instead of mounting everything on the stand. So I'm gonna bring the mount stand over here, the piece that attaches to the engine. I'm gonna take it off the stand and put it here so we can mount this. We have to make sure this thread goes all the way in. Here we are. This is a part of the engine stand, so let's see how we do with this. Yeah, this is enough. This is the 90. It will go straight in, and I think this is enough. No spacers, nothing. Okay, so we have 2 and 2. We have two 90s and two 100s. We know the 90 is the perfect size. So we see the difference between each other. So we're just gonna add that as spacers. Okay, so let's see. We got this here. No, let's add more. So two of those washers almost make it to size. So it's 3. 3 washers and it's the same size. Here we go. So that's what we're gonna use. We're gonna use 3 washers on 2 of those bolts. Well, there's actually 1 because the other one has to go in with the nut in the back. All right, let's see. One thing that I would like to point out is that these are great 10.9 bolts. With this small engine, you could also use a 8.8, I guess, but 10.9 is the best thing to use for engines. Okay, it's not just any bolt; it has to be graded for it. It has to be a strong bolt. So here for the last one, we have a bolt with a nut. We're gonna put a couple of washers on it. Let's make spacer. Put a washer on both sides. There we go. Okay, so we're ready with this. Now it'll be just easier to pick up the engine and just mount these on the stand instead of doing all these bolts while the engine is up on the lift. So let's put these on the stand. Okay, so here we are ready to pick up the engine. This is our pickup tool, a winch or tow or lift. Here's our stand. right here. So let's see how we can pick this up. Okay, so here we are. We're ready to take this thing apart. So this is a 10. Let's take this cover off. Okay, the cap. So we took 6 number 10s from the top, and that's all it takes to take the cover out. Now we need to pry these open. All right. All right. See a little cleaner working space. I'm just gonna take the entire manifold out. Well, are they all out? One more. There's 2 more bolts on the inside of this intake manifold. I'm taking out. Here's the last one. But we have a hose on the bottom. This hose goes. It cools down the air coming into the engine. So this hose is for the intake manifold, and it goes straight to the thermostat housing. Now coming out. Let's use a pick to break it loose. There we go. The hose pliers, and there we go. Okay, now we can take this manifold out. By the way, when you take the valve cover off, you have to be careful because both pieces are aluminum, so you don't want to damage that either one of the covers. Okay, so let's get this valve out. All right. Now let's get these camshafts out. The inlet is a little better than the one on the exhaust. If they were both the same, maybe we would have gotten some more horsepower. But on the outlet, they don't put a better camshaft. Let's get these out. I think these are number 10s. These are all 10s, not 12s. If you're reusing the engine, if you're using this video to take this engine apart to do some upgrades, you have to make sure you break this first, okay? I'm not reusing this engine, so I'm not worried about it. But it's better that you break the bolts first, because if they, with the machine, they could just break easily. All right? Because I'm not reusing this, I'm not worried about it. But none of them broke, so you're okay. There's a couple of them that have to be loose in the back to be able to get these out. But before we do all these, taking these out, we have to take the front cover out. Loosen the chain. That way we have clearance for it. There we go. Now let's take that front cover out. Let's not forget the 10mm ones from the back. There we go. Let's see what we have in front. These are all 10s. We have to remove this VTC actuator. We have to remove the spool valve. Let's get this harmonic balancer out. Well, this is loose already. See, this stand moves a lot. That's why I broke this off. I broke this loose while it was on the ground. Look at this bolt. All right, now the harmonic balancer can come out. It has a pin. Be careful with the pin. Don't lose it. Again, if you're using the engine again. This is the little pin. All right. If somebody wants this engine, you can let me know on the inbox. You can send me an email. You can send me a message, Instagram, whatever you need to. But I'm not really using this engine. But if you want it, if you want the blog, you want some parts of it, just let me know. Let's get this BTC actuator out. This hose clamp pliers will do the trick. There we go. Just gotta be careful if you're reusing this again. I'm not reusing any of these. It's not damaged anywhere. But you just gotta be careful taking it out. 10, 11, 11 10s on the cover. But there's two more on the bottom, or maybe one. It holds the tray and it goes up into the cover. So there's one that is missing because they took this cover out already. The bottom tray. They left only one. So there'll be one here and there'll be another one here, but took this one out. So it will be 13 bolts. Let's see if we can break these loose. Again, be careful if you're reusing this. I'm not reusing it, but I'm still going to be careful because if somebody wants it, I don't want to damage it. Around the VTC valve, there's another bolt that I didn't take out. There we go. That's why it wasn't coming out. So it's 14 bolts. Here's the cover. It smells all burned inside. All right. So we're gonna take this chain out. We have one of the guides off already. We took that out. So let's take these out. The chain seems pretty tight. It's very good. So this is the moving guide. This one is the one that puts pressure on it. This one is the static. So we're gonna take both out, and so we'll be able to get this chain loose, and then we'll take these out. Now to move this guide, we need a hex key. So here it is. Let's see. There we go. All right, let's remove this. Now the chain is loose. Yeah, we're already able to take this chain out. Great. We didn't have to take the static one out. So far everything is okay. This chain is okay. It didn't expand with the heat. So let's see what else we find. Hopefully we find something. I want to find something that's wrong with it. We do have to take these out to be able to take the head out. Let's see. I'll take it out anyway. All right. It's a good idea to make a video of yourself when you're taking this apart so you know which way everything is going back, okay? So that way you know which one is the stud, which one is the bolt. It'd be great to do that. Okay. We have to move these back and forth with a plier or something so that we can shake them loose. All right. So we can save these pieces together in case somebody wants this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So far so good. Let's see. This camshaft looks good. Oh, very shiny, very nice. Okay. So here's one. Here's 2. Again, somebody needs these. Let me know. Send me a message, send me a comment, send me an Instagram. You can have it. Oh, so milky in here. Oof. Looks like we had some antifreeze going into the engine side, into the oil side. Now, when you're taking these out, if you are using this engine again, you have to keep these together because there's a pin here that's spring loaded. So, like I said, in case somebody wants this, I'm gonna tie them. When I pick these out, they're gonna come loose. So I'm gonna tie them with a wire tie. Maybe I should get the camera a little closer so we can see this. Especially when you have 3. 2 is not that much of a big deal, okay? But when you have three, then it's a little more complicated. So let's see a little closer. See what we're doing here. Okay, you know, I have them together. These two are loose. They're independent, but I don't want to pick them up too much because, like I said, it has that pin that when I lift these up, that pin is going to come out because it's spring loaded. That spring will come out too. So we'll tie them together just like this so they don't come apart. And on the other side, there's only one lifter. Okay. Let's tie these, pick them up together, and tie them. So if you have three lifters, make sure you tie all three of them, lift them up together, and tie them real good. Because if you lose that, then you have problems. What you can also do if you're not doing any work on the intake, if you're not doing anything on the camshafts or anything, before you take these out, you can just take everything together, lift these up from here from the side, and you take the bolts out. You take all the bolts out, but then you lift it all together. You don't take those things out, and the whole thing comes out. But you have to keep it pressed so that you can move it aside. Okay, everything together comes to the side. But I'm gonna take these all apart. I don't see any problems here. So far it looks good. I hope the mechanic wasn't lying about the engine being bad. You know, sometimes some people take advantage of other people, especially when there's a young woman going to the mechanic that doesn't know anything about cars. They take advantage. So those are tight now. Everything is out. The two screws that I was talking about in the back. There's one right here. It's right by the position sensors. There's one on the other side. One right here and one right here. Okay. We have to take the spark plugs out. So let's see how they are after probably 3,000 miles, because it wasn't much. They're wet. This one is wet, but it's good. It's not burned. Let's see. Second one is also wet. If you are going to reuse the spark plugs, you have to make sure you put it back where it went. Okay, if this one came out of here, this is the third one. I took out the fourth one first. 4, 3, 2, 1. This is the front of the engine. So you have to put them in the same order so you can put them back. Since I'm not using this again, it doesn't really matter. Let's see how this one is. This one is a little bit wet. Oh, this one's bad. Burn and wet. So what I think happened with this is that because it overheated, all the seats got burned, and water got mixed in with oil. So let's see, because I see this milky stuff out of here. That usually gets like that when the oil gets mixed with the antifreeze. But we'll see. Now let's get this out. So as I said, you have to pull the whole thing together, keep it together, and pull it back if you want to reuse it. But you can help grab the whole thing out just like this. Look at the lifters on one side, just one, and the others I use on this side. So I'm so excited to take this head out, put it a little closer so we can see. We have to take these big bolts out, and there are 12-point bolts. Let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 of them. And so they're 12-point, and they are number 14. So let's get these things out. Let's get a cheater bar. When you put in these back, you have to put it in a sequence because you can't tie one tie first and then the other. There's a sequence for it, so make sure you follow that. We'll probably find something out after we take these out. This engine was well maintained. You can see how there's no sludge in here. It's nice and clean. Besides that milky stuff with the oil, this is all clean. And when I buy the car, when I buy a used car, and when I got this one, I changed the oil like 4 times. I put additives so you could clean the engine. I run the car for a little bit, then I changed the oil again with additives. So I took very good care of it. And now I want to get this head out to see how those cylinders look. Let's get these out. This is a 14, by the way. All right. Thermostat housing is on this. See a thermostat in there. All right. Look at these. So we can use these pry bars to get these up. Again, take it easy. Oh, he's out. So loose. Is it? So loose. Everything on this car was working except the engine, of course. So if you want anything from here, even this is spool valve, it was good. So right now it's gonna come up with the head, with the cylinder head. The water pump was used for the new engine, so there's no water pump. All right, let's get these out. Let's go back a little. All right, let's see. For the moment of truth, I want to get this head out already. All right, this looks good. It's not bad. Let's see. All right. Well, let's take a look at these valves. It doesn't look that bad. It doesn't look bad at all. Well, they're burned, that's normal. Well, something's here, but it's not too bad. All right. They're very wet, that's for sure. They are wet. And it's not just oil. Feel some water in there, so there was definitely water going into the engine. Oh, I see a lot of water there. So this was definitely because of water. It hydrolocked probably. Look at these. This is not clean oil. All right, here we can see some water in there. All right, there's water here. This is normal. All this stuff in here. And look at this. Little gunk in there. But water, there's water in there. Water in every single cylinder. So that was definitely a problem. Or deposits around here. All right. Let's continue taking these apart. We put this back so we can get this engine turning. And it's moving now. Before it wasn't moving. Yeah, that's all it was. It was hydrolocked. This moves well. The noise you hear is just from the flywheel that is touching the bolts of the mount. But everything looks good. So I don't know if I want to take this apart further than that. Because the cylinder walls are fine. They're not scratched. They're good. They're all nice and clean. There's no one scratch on them. They're very nice. Very nice. Sometimes when they get too hot, this warps, or the head warps. So this is not straight anymore. But it will have to be machine clean and to make sure, but I don't see anything bent anywhere. This engine hydrolocked. There was water in here. Air can be compressed, and that's what this does. It compresses the air, the gas that goes in it, and that makes the explosion. Combined with the spark plug. So when the combustion happens, it makes the piston go down. But if there's water in here, this is not going to move because you can't compress the water in there. It doesn't go anywhere. If it goes water or antifreeze with oil, if it goes into the pistons, the engine is not going to move. The engine is just not going to move. Somebody dropped this harmonic balancer. Somebody dropped it and broke. So that's no good. But everything else looks great. I'm happy to see these. But I want to turn it around and see what's under the pan. I want to see that. So let's get this oil pan out. They're all number 10. A lot of them are missing because the mechanic, I think, used the old pan because this one didn't fit in there. The oil pan was different. Again, these engines have like 20 variations of them, so it's difficult to know which pans goes there, which car. They're different because of what they have on the bottom. But look at this pump. It's a nice pump. It's good. This is a good pump. Chain is good. Has nice tension. And this is what's making the noise. Okay, the flywheel. So it's nice and clean in there. Except I feel bad taking anything else apart. But this is the video. I'm taking it all out. Let's get this pump out of here. This is 14s. All right, let's get these out. So we're taking this guide out. These are 10s. This guide seems okay. Okay. Just softly, not too hard, okay? I can pick this up. Hold on. Get these bolts out of the way. Now we can get this chain off. There we go. Nice. I was dying to see in there. All these gears, everything looks good on the pump. Nice. We have a working pump, so if anybody wants a pump, here you go. So we're gonna turn these around so we can get all this oil out of here. Let's get rid of these bolts. And let's turn these around. Oh, let's get the chain out before it falls. There we go. Let's get these gears out. Put it in here. All right, let's turn it so we can lose all this oil out of here. Oil and water. I don't know what it is. It's nasty. All right, let's get some more stuff out. I had to drain for a little. But now we're gonna get this. Let's get this windage tray out. These are number 10. It's only held by four screws. Oh. All right. All right, so let's get some more stuff out. This we have to get the girdle out, and for that we have these 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 bolts. Break them by hand, okay? Break them up by hand. Don't use the machine if you're gonna use these again. Which I'm gonna do it like that because if somebody wants it, I said I'm gonna give it back. I'm gonna give it to them, and I don't wanna break anything. So I'm gonna take those 10 out. I'm gonna break it with the breaker bar, and then you gotta take the small screws that are also in here. There's some small screws in there, and there are some on the outside. Okay, that. With those, you'll be able to get this girdle out. So let's get started. For that, well, before we do that, we have to take these pistons out. Okay. So, these are 12 point, and I think they're 10s. Let's see. 12.10s, that's right. So we're gonna get those out. If you didn't have the flywheel with you, you will have to put the pulley back. Okay, so I have this, and I love how easy this moves. It's not even though this is a little stuck a little bit because of the bolt from the mount. So, but even so, it moves nice and easy. This is smooth. So, like I said, this engine is bulletproof. I love these engines. So we're getting the connecting rods out, so we can push these pistons out of the way. All right, those are loose. Let's do the other ones. When taking these out, you have to make sure you keep them in the same place because they're color coded. Okay, they go in the same exact place. They have to go in the same exact place because they have exact fitment. So if you're reusing it, you're rebuilding your engine, you keep that in mind. Okay, so you have to go with the same one to the same piston, same connecting rod. So put this one right here. There's the second one, which is the first one. The other one was the fourth one, the one in the back. And then we'll move the flywheel. Oh, let's push these out. Let's get this out of the way. Let's see if we can push that piston out. All right, have to make sure, I said, the bearings, get them back from the engine also, from the main one. Look at the color code. All right, so you got to make sure it goes back in the same place. But you put it back, make sure it doesn't stay on the engine, on the camshaft, I should say. All right, this was number one, the front one. Look, it's not that bad. It just has a lot of mixture of water and oil. I'm going to put this together, put them all back together so we don't lose anything. All right, time to lose these so we can take that crankshaft out. And we're going to use a breaker bar. Remember, we don't want to break these bolts inside. If we use the gun, they will most likely break. So good. In many cases they break, not all the time. But let's treat it nicely so that somebody could use this engine, because it's a very good engine. Now we can use the gun. Now it'll be a little faster to take them out. So if you bag and tag everything, it'll be much easier to put all these back. All right. And we can take these other 14 millimeters out. I think they're 12. Yeah, they're 12s. So we're getting these 12s out. So we're going to rearrange these bolts. The engine is much lighter, so we can use any other places right now to grab this engine. All right. Good. Just do the same on the other side, and that's it. Okay. For the moment of truth, awesome. You have to pry it back and forth, back and forth. You can't just go from one side because it's there's some guides there to make you go straight through. So when you're installing it, so you have to do it one side at a time. Okay. Now it's loose. We can pick it up. All right. This camshaft is ready to come out. Well, the only issue I have right now is I have a bolt right on these. So I have to get that loose, and it's coming out. So this is one. So what I'm doing is I'm adding a washer on these to make a little spacer so so the bolt doesn't touch the flywheel. Right? And now it's nice and loose. I didn't want to do that before because the engine was everything was on it, so it was heavy. But right now, it's all off, so it's light. And look at this. This is how the engine was moving the whole time. There was no problems with it. Other than the hydrolocking, I think that was the problem. He hydrolocked, that was all. That's all. There was nothing wrong with this engine. Just had to be taken apart. Look at these. Everything is in good condition. Like I said, these engines are bulletproof. That's it. We have a crankshaft out for whoever needs one. So as I mentioned before, this car overheated for a long time, and finally the seals fell. It's so brittle. Look, it's falling apart. It's not rubber anymore. This is like very material, very, very soft. I didn't scrape any of these, and look, it almost looks clean. So all these seals burned, and that's why the water went into the oil side. It's all brittle. This engine came apart fairly easy. So the water went into the cylinders and it hydrolocked the engine. So that's what I think happened, because all these seal that was around it just came right off. It's falling apart. Look, it was all burned with all the heat in the engine. That's what happened. Good thing they didn't try to run the engine for a long time right after it hydrolocked. But everything is good. So there it is. We took the entire engine apart, and here are all the parts. The main bolts, the spark plugs, the cams, the camshaft caps, pistons, the dipstick. Never reuse the spark plugs. Well, unless you bought them new, you know they're new, you can reuse them. I didn't take the tensioner out. Don't use that either. Don't reuse that. Okay. Here's the block. Here's the code if you wanted to know, RAA. Time chain cover. There goes the valve cover, the tower, girdle. Look at the pump, the oil pump, camshaft, the pulley. Look at the pulley, the timing chain. All right. I didn't take out the spool valve either, or the oil housing, oil filter housing. So here's everything. If you need any of these parts, let me know, guys. You can email me, you can message me, you can comment on the video. Very, very good engine. Very well made. Very popular engine. The K20s and the K24s are very, very popular. All right, so that's it for me. Take care and see you in the next video.